What's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 23, part 2. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, and tuning in. Make sure you guys smash that like button and that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way, every time you are notified when an episode drops. So this is part 2 of what we were talking about, entrepreneurship. So let's get into it. You know, once again, I'm not talking to the people that like their 9-to-5 or want a 9-to-5. I'm not talking to you because you know you love what you're doing. Cool. Yeah. Follow that. Yeah. Do that. Yeah. I'm talking to the people that, which I would probably say like 8 out of 10 people probably hate what they're doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're just like miserable. They're like, oh, Monday. Oh my God. And I'm like, well, do something about it. Yeah. Like you're doing nothing about it. Like
you said, they don't know, but you're complaining. If we're having the same conversation in 3
years, 4 years.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, didn't we talk about
probably time
this?
to move.
Or right now, so in my field, I have a lot of people that, you know, that once again, music. I have a lot of artists, and a lot of them are trying to quote unquote make it. Yeah. And I'm telling them, like, you can be, look, there's 2 types of artists, 3 types of artists. There's the artist who is big. Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, you have all those people.
Who's
you know,
that?
like right.
Justin who now?
Yeah, who? And you have these people that are at the top of the game. Okay, cool. Then you have like the people that are like the Russ, you know, or you have like
John Bellion.
Yeah, John Bellion. These people that are like slept on, you know, that are amazing. And then you have the aspiring artists that nobody knows, right? That sings at coffee shops, right? So you have those 3 tiers in my area, right? Some of you guys might be in a different area or whatever, but take it for what it's worth. And these people, it's funny because I tell them, look, okay, to get to the Justin Bieber, to get to the Ariana, you have to grind. Like you have to be like the Mark Cuban of the world. You got to be the Elon Musk, like where you literally put your head down. You have no friends, no life. You work 12 to 14 hours a day, every day, and you can get to that spot. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Once again, like they say, it is lonely at the top, and a lot of these people are very lonely, and they have all the money in the world or whatever. And so, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Then you have the Russ, John Bellion, these guys that are not maybe like the A-listers, but they're there. But guess what? I found that they're like a happy medium. They have the money, they have some clout, and they've worked pretty much just as hard as
they love what they do,
and they love what they do. And you know, and they're consistent. They're still consistent. They put out record after record after record. They're writing for people. They're doing everything that they're supposed to do as an entrepreneur because that's what they are. People think like artist is hippie, right? Like, oh, I just got to like do music and I love music and it's so cool and I'm just going to like, you know, whatever. I'm like, no, you're a business owner. Congratulations. Yeah. Like you are an entrepreneur. That's just a reality. That's what those guys that are there, that's tier 1 and tier 2. You're tier 3, you're aspiring artist. You need to be working like those guys. If you're not going to make it. It's simple. You don't put in the hours, you don't put in the grind, you don't put in the money, you don't make investment. That's another thing. You have to be able to invest in what you're wanting to do. You know, you just bought a piece of equipment.
But if you peel back the layers, it's again, we're going to circle back to money. In order to invest, you got to know how to stop spending that recklessly.
Yeah. It's simple as this. If I were to do this, like if I was an artist, I'm talking to like now the artists of that watch us. If I was an artist, I would crush almost everybody that I know. Yeah, I would crush them. Why? And I mean this with respect. I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything like that, but it's because I know what it takes, and B, I've built a business. Yeah. And the thing is like a lot of the artists that are right now, either the ones that I work with or in our industry or outside of our industry, most of them that are aspiring and are wanting to do this, they have the mindset of like, okay, I have my 9-to-5 job and this is my side gig. Yeah. And I'm like, you have to literally have the mentality of
that's
like,
a dangerous spot to be in.
That's a very dangerous spot to be in because the problem is you can get that complacency or it's really easy to get discouraged. Like, for instance, like, okay, I have a couple of grand to throw on this single and I have a couple of grand to throw on this one or maybe I got to do it in payments or whatever. And they do it and then they see like small growth and then they're like, oh, cool, complacency. Yeah. And they stay very steady and steady and steady. And then, you know, maybe the next single comes out and they go up a little bit and then it's just complacency. Why? Because you have a fallback. I don't have a fallback. I don't have a job that I can fall back on like, oh, if I don't want to work this month, I got something to fall back on. Yeah. And you know, me, it's like cool, I just invested $5,000 into this, $4,000 into this, $2,000 into this, $3,000 into this. So I have a lot to lose because I'm investing, and then I see a payoff, and then invest time, maybe not money, but time, and then I see a payoff. And so that's a really dangerous, and why I say I would crush these people, because I've already done it. I've had to put stuff on credit cards.
You understand what it takes. And I get it. Everyone has a different definition of success, but we're talking again like, yes, 9 to 5. Oh, how am I supposed to, whether you're a drummer, whether, again, I've said it before, a car salesman, if you're any kind of salesman in any kind of industry, whatever, you're going to have to, after that 5 p.m. hits, you're going to have to go home and you have to clock in again.
That's the thing.
George, when we first started, doing music together, we worked at the same job, bro, 9 to 5. Sometimes we get off at 6.
Yep.
Long days, on your feet, talking to people. But we knew that after that, once 6 p.m. hits, we go get something to eat, and we go to the studio, and another 5 hours, whatever, trial and error. And that's what it took.
Yeah, I started taking clothes to his house. I started sleeping on his couch.
At some point, I was just like, bro, just stay at night.
Just stay at night, and I'll take you to work in the morning.
Okay, now I get it. Cool. Yeah. It's music. But we're not just talking about music. This can mean anything.
No, because like I said, let's say I wanted to start an online business, selling, selling sneakers or
even
selling
T-shirts
or memorabilia or whatever. Yeah, I would literally, exactly. 9 o'clock, I would go in till 5 o'clock, and then as soon as I'm done with that, I get home 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm working till midnight. And working on my side grind, and I'm trying to swap places slowly. And once again, you're going to see growth and you're going to plateau and then see some more growth and plateau, but you can't stay on those plateaus.
You need those falls. You need those trial and errors. You need those plateaus to grow.
That's what absolutely.
Don't stay there. I think for me, the biggest thing that helps anybody and would continue, even the 9 to 5, right? Let me talk to the 9 to 5er, because 9 to 5er. The 9 to 5er.
Now he's calling them fine.
The 9 to 5er. Hey, all y'all are out there fine. But the 9 to 5er, right? I think for me, what allows me to stay away from the it's Monday and it's Friday thing is vision for my life. Like what I want to see in my life. And I think that what happens with people that eventually go to work, and even entrepreneurs who are starting off but are feeling discouraged, is that they begin to lose that vision. Yeah. Right? We're mentioning Bible. That's Bible. Where there is no vision, my people perish. And for me, what's kept me...
that would have been good for the organ.
What's good for me is like going forward is that I have to understand that this is not the end. And entrepreneurs have to understand this is not the end. Like, you may be at a position, at a point in your life where you feel like it's going nowhere. First of all, something has to change, but the vision has to stay the same. We talking before this, we have a vision for where we want to see the podcast go. And right now we're going, man, how do we get this? How do we grow? How do we continue?
George, don't spill the beans.
Oh, my bad. Take it out. But, that's for me, is that it takes time. Sit down. Understand what's your next move. How do you get closer to where you want to be in the first place?
Yeah, because it's easy to get discouraged. I mean, I say it all the time. I mean, it's so easy to get discouraged. Even where I'm at right now, I'll be vulnerable, and I'll even share a little bit of what I'm going through right now. So I'm in a good spot. I've made a good amount of money. I'm able to sustain my family. My business is going great. But there's times that I'll see other people in the same industry that I'm in or outside the industry, and I'm seeing things that are going great for them. And I might feel like, man, this week, maybe I wasn't as active on social media, and like people aren't like tagging me and everything. And my clout doesn't feel very high or whatever. And you start comparing yourself, or you start kind of get into a little funk where you're like, dang, I feel like I'm in a plateau. I feel like, or I'm not going anywhere, or I feel like I'm irrelevant now, or whatever. That does happen. That goes through everybody's mind. I'll have people walk up to me like, "Dang, you're so busy." Like, dude, you're man, you're up here, like blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't feel that right now in the season that I'm in. Like this month, or this last couple of weeks, I feel like I'm not. But that's me. Like psychologically, that's kind of the person that's sitting in the back of my brain that's telling me like, you need to go even harder.
You could do more.
You could do more. You could figure out how. Okay, cool. You're doing this right now and it's working and whatever. But how do you grow in a different area, or how do you do this and how do you do that? And this is a really, really good piece of advice. really, really good piece of advice that I got from somebody. So I know a good amount of I can literally more than a handful of entrepreneur multi-millionaires that I know personally, and I've gotten good advice from them. And these guys are I mean, they're amazing, right? And they all have told me the exact same thing, almost to a T. And I also heard Warren Buffett say this. He said, start as many companies as you can. Do different things and see which ones succeed and see which ones fail. So what I took that as, and from the advice that I would get from other people, is have 6 lines of income. Yeah. Have 6 different streams of income. So I had to write down, and I still have it somewhere in a journal somewhere, but the 6 different streams of income that I could do. So, starting the podcast was one of those streams. I'm like, okay, cool. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize. We need to do this. We need to do that. So right now it's not profitable. This business isn't profitable. Some of the merch, we joke around a lot, but for real, go buy the merch. But but the merch, that is profit, but it's not anything crazy, right? We're not selling millions of dollars of merch or anything like that. Not yet, right? But everything starts somewhere, but that's one line. So I have like one line of income, right, which is mixing. The other line is production, right? So those 2 lines of income, they pay me. And that's probably my 2 heaviest lines of income. Then I have, some songwriting stuff, or I might have like, let's say if I go do like a seminar, or I do a online class, or I do, some like one-on-ones with people and stuff. Like, these are different lines of income right there that, they come in and they, they supply a need. Or doing something live, you know what I mean? That pays. But once again, all of those, it's like you start from the bottom and you work your way up. And you grind it out until it does start paying, and it starts, so having 6 lines of income is very pivotal as a entrepreneur. So I'm always having vision and evolving. Well, what else can I do? Start a record label. Okay, do a publishing company. Do this, do that. Distribution. Get into management. There's so many different lanes in music that I could do that would make me happy. That would be really fun. Right now I'm starting to get into artist development. I charge nothing for it. I do it for free, but I'm building connections, and that's one way that, okay, how do I monetize doing artist development? How can I make money off this? Now that's my next step. That's the next vision. You know what I mean? Starting a record label or whatever. It could be anything. Yeah. And it's getting into those things and really grinding it out. Because, dude, like, how many people do we know that are now all of a sudden they're mixing engineers?
Oh my God.
All of a sudden they're producers. Man, I'd see that time and time again. Yeah. I see it all the time. I'm like, wow, well, this guy's a mixing engineer now, right?
Self-proclaimed.
Wow, this guy, and they're all and I'm like, most of those people, it's like what we got told. So the Navy SEALs, I know them. I think it's 90 some odd % of them will fail when they go to buds. I know with jiu-jitsu, it's 86% of all white belts will quit. And will never get to blue belt. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of things like this. Anything entrepreneurial or starting a company, most everybody will fail, or most everybody will quit.
Yeah,
it's a really high percentage.
Yeah,
and so I think it's fun. I'm not trying to poke fun, or I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that, but I do see it all the time. People are like, "Oh, I'm producing now. Oh, I'm mixing now. Oh, I'm like that." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cute."
Yeah, but
because most of those people won't last.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They phase out.
They phase out.
If you know me and Tim, we help people out. Like anyone who's watching this who knows me, like I've always extended and opened my doors to come to the studio to learn whatever. So yeah, in no way, shape, or form is just bashing anybody. But yeah, they phase out, bro, and it's because they don't want to put the grind in. Oh, now, I'm not gonna lie. Like before I started getting serious with this, you made this fun for me. It was already something I wanted to do, but when I get to learn and sit back and see, okay, this is what it takes, this is what it is, it's fun. They see the fun, but they don't see the grind that has to come with that. Yeah. And again, this relates to any other kind of business, bro. Like some people can make it look good, but then there's some that you said too, where I was gonna wait Because you were talking, and I was like, dang, Tim, come on. And I'm just like,
dang,
but
golly.
No, you said something about like you start comparing yourself to others.
Yeah,
now everyone has their own lane. Now, when you start comparing yourself, that's a dangerous spot. And again, with my experience, you got to be careful because there's some friends that'll be like, "Hey, do you see so and so? He's doing it," and you're like, "Okay, like wow,
thank you. That don't help me, man."
Yeah.
No, but jealousy starts kicking in. That's human nature.
And then it does throw you off your path because again, going back to the grind, like you said, like you're gonna have those struggles, you're gonna have those things, those thoughts of like, oh, I'm not gonna make it. But like you said, you can't lose vision. Yeah. There's also gonna come those nights, and you can probably agree with me on this. Yeah. You're gonna have those sleepless nights of like, am I doing enough?
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have those sleepless nights of like, man, like I'm stressing right now. What do I do tomorrow? How do I make this? Oh, I'm going to be short.
Am I going to be short? Am I going to make it? Like, are we going to make it? Are we going to get enough work to
if you're going through that right now, I'm telling you, it's a good thing. It's good to experience that because it's going to take that to get to that next level.
Like man. if you're not worried, you're not doing it right.
Exactly.
I still worry. You know, once again, I mean, seeing the numbers.
Or what haven't they said? Like if your goals don't scare you, they're not real goals.
No, they're not big enough.
Yeah.
And that's the reality is that you have to dream big and you got to make it happen. And you got to work, like I said, you got to work every day.
Whether you're selling t-shirts, whether you're selling candy or you're a taco truck, bro, it applies everywhere, bro.
It applies absolutely.
I think what was really important that you said, Tim, was first and foremost finding out what you're passionate about.
Yeah, because the biggest thing, and not to cut you off, but look, this is the biggest thing. If you don't believe in what you're doing,
nobody else will.
Look, I did a sales job. I'm being very honest. I'm a terrible salesman. Terrible.
I know.
Especially when I don't believe in the product. Okay, so I used to. I'll give you a little side story. So I used to work for a company. It was called Fan Cloth, and we used to call coaches, high school coaches, every sport. We'd call them from everywhere in the nation. All right, and we would talk to them, and we would tell them essentially, we're gonna send you a free catalog. It was literally free for them. I was selling a free product, right? We're going to send you a catalog, all right? You're going to get that catalog, and it's going to have all of your spirit wear for your wrestling team or whatever, right? It's going to be for your moms, your dads, for uncles, aunts, grandpas, grandmas, whatever. We're going to make this catalog. Everybody orders off the catalog. Y'all send us the money. We give you guys a cut. We get a cut, so it's risk-free. Gotcha. It's literally risk-free. You could sell nothing. You could sell two things. It doesn't matter. You'll make a profit, we'll make a profit, and that's it. So, like, literally I was selling them on that. Dude, I was, like, one of the worst ones. Like, one of the worst ones. Because I'm just like, this is so stupid. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is just another job for me. Yeah. And I literally was awful at it. Awful at it. Because I didn't believe in it.
Yeah.
I now, essentially, and I know this is, I don't want this to sound bad, but I'm a salesman. I have to sell myself to even people that want to work with me. I still have to sell them on like, me and you are going to build a relationship.
Why Tim? Like why? Not. I'm not asking you why. But like why Tim? Like why choose me?
Why? Well, this is the thing. Let's say, like for instance, let's say it's like you want a Ferrari, right? Like you already want it, right? But what do they do at Ferrari? They sell you the services, the warranty. You're going to have to come back and get an oil change from us. So what are they doing? They're continually making money off of you without you even knowing it. And that's the thing is like, okay, well, how do I make a product that I don't just sell one time, right? I don't want to just make one record for a person and that's it. No, I want to build a relationship with that person to where I make every record for them. Anything that they might say, hey, you know what? I need you to come out and do a guitar part for me. Or whatever. Oh, well, yeah, I'm your guy. Anything having to do with music, anything. You need live sound for, your church or whatever. I got you. Oh, hey, you need to do a record. Okay, cool. I need you to mix. Oh, hey, I have a buddy who needs it. You know what I mean? And so I'm building that relationship. So it's building it's building relationships. At the end of the day, you're building relationships with people and you're selling them your product. So I believe in my Timbro brand. I believe in what I do. I believe in my music. I believe that I can get you a certain sound. I can get you certain connections. I can be there for you. As an as an artist, developer, or whatever. And I believe wholeheartedly in that. So I sell that to them, and they buy that.
Yep.
And that's literally what it is. That we are in a sales job. So if I don't believe in my brand, or I don't believe that I can make somebody an amazing song or get them on the map or whatever, then what am I doing? I don't believe in it.
Dino's pretty nasty at sales, man. Like, in a good way.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, hey, Tim, sell me this iPhone.
We used to be...
you have people that do that.
The pin.
So I'm terrible at that. Yeah. I'm terrible. I'm like,
hey, Tim, if you ever need some dental work, me and George got you.
Dude, this dude, for real, straight up, like, I'd be working on a mom, right? Like, hey, come to the dental office. It's been so long, I don't even remember what I would say. But I was pretty good at it, to be honest. I mean, he knows. Yeah. But I'd be like, here, hey, and then this and that and the other, right? And so she'd be like, oh, okay. And she was about to walk away,
go to
right?
Such and such dental office.
Yeah,
already.
And she was about to walk away, and then Dino would come in. Hey, Mom, I'll tell you what. He always started that. Hey, Mom, I'll tell you what.
For,
do
the
this.
Experience. Like, hey, Mom, tell me about your experience. How you like? Well,
right.
And they would spill like, well, I didn't like it here. Tell you what, Mom, it's nothing. And then it just flows.
See, and
I'm being for real. I'm terrible at that.
Yeah,
because
Tim's the kind of guy like, you want my product, I'm gonna choke you out. My God.
Yeah. I mean, he does have a point.
Tim's like, Dino, why'd you mess up the mix prep for
But no, it's because I figured it out but I was older when I figured it out. I'm like, I just don't believe in this product. I don't care where I work. I've worked for different companies. I'm like, I don't believe in, freaking, what bank was it that I worked for? Citibank. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't believe in this.
Yeah.
I'm literally, I collected, I was a, what is it called? Like a
debt collector?
Yes. I was a debt collector, bro. And I hated that.
He was collecting
his own debt? I can't do that, bro.
No, and honestly, I'm being for real. I was terrible at it.
Yeah.
So I'm working for somebody else. I hate this job. And I didn't know what that was till I started hanging out with Jose, and I started, hanging out with other people that were entrepreneurs and understanding
that had that same hunger.
So it wasn't until I got there that I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
So before we wrap this thing up, because I know it's getting closer to when we're going to finish, but if someone's scrolling through this video and they're just waiting for the golden nuggets, right? So right now, if you had to tell...
chicken nuggets just popped
if you had three things to tell a young entrepreneur, 3 things, this is it, what would it be?
First one is branding, okay? So once again, goes back to vision. Having a vision, having a product that you can sell. Because you can sell anything. You can literally sell anything. You just have to, believe in it, know enough about it, have a passion about it, and then, but it all comes down to branding. Okay? When you drive down a highway and you see a big old yellow M, what do you associate it with?
Yeah. McDonald's,
right? You don't think, I wonder what that is. Oh, it's a library. No, you know that's a McDonald's. Yeah. That's where kids go. They play, they eat. You can get fast food. You associate that, right? You see Starbucks. So you're trying to create an Apple. You're trying to create a Disney. That's what you're trying to do with your product. That's why branding is so important. And you have to understand what a brand is. What is branding? What do I want my brand to look like to people that know nothing about music, know nothing about whatever business that you're trying to get into? Same thing. If I was an artist, what kind of brand? What are my color schemes? That I have to
tell you what, that's a nice color scheme right there.
There you go. You're saying
that's what I said earlier.
Color scheme right there.
And I did the purple because in my studio I always have a purple vibe. So I had to look up. Okay, well, what colors go with purple? These colors went with purple.
Oh, yeah, it definitely looks dope.
Right. So for me, I'm like, okay, these are the colors that are going to associate with the brand, and this is but here's number 2. Here's not number 2 to the overall point, but here's number 2 to branding. 1A. Yeah, is it has to look good in white and black.
Which it does on the shirt.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Well, not yours. I know what you
I know, right?
On the shirt, I do have.
Yeah. So that it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
If it looks good in white and black, then you got it set. You got something, right?
So take a selfie in black and white. You'll know if you look good.
Yeah. No, but like if you have, some people will come up with like a logo or whatever.
Yeah.
You put it in black and white, and then it all disappears. I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. So it's got to be simple enough. It's got to be catchy enough. It's got to be something that rolls off the tongue. So that part does take forever. Tim's Bros podcast wasn't overnight. Tim Bro, that wasn't overnight. Like I had to really sit on that because I had to make sure this is my brand. It's like like if you watch Batman, the first one with Christian Bale, right? When they're in the airplane, and he was telling Alfred, he's like, I need to create a symbol that will last forever. It doesn't matter, anybody can be it. That's what he was doing, branding, bro. That's what branding is. It's like, okay, I'm going to make a symbol, an emblem. I'm going to make something that people will associate it. Like when people see my name, they associate, oh, Tim, bro, he does this type of music. He does this. This is what he does. This is what he offers. And I haven't even talked to that person. I don't even know that person, but they already know everything about my brand. And that took years. It takes years to brand yourself. So branding is going to be the number one most important thing that you can do.
Hey, take that brand. Hey, don't free branding.
I know, right? Take Apple off of there. But yeah, so branding is going to be the most important thing. I think also another thing is, overall, I would probably say, man, because that one's probably the
biggest.
That one's probably the biggest one, man. That could be all 3 points right there, because I did describe a bunch of things like inside of branding that it takes. And then another thing I think is connections. So I think connections are going to be your number one go-to thing, and that could be either a business connection, business relationship, a consumer relationship, whatever kind of connection to connect people to that brand. So you've made this brand, all right? People know what it is, but now how do I get people to stick to that brand and connect to that brand? Come back, yeah. A return rate. And, that's the most important thing that you can do for your brand is, okay, how do I get people to come in once and then come in a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time? You know what I mean?
We talked about that before, me and you, and we compared that to Starbucks. Is Starbucks the best coffee? No. There's a lot of hole in the wall places.
Dino's Coffee.
It's Dino's Coffee, baby.
Best recognized. But look at the branding. Yeah. If Starbucks went up right now $3 across the board, across the menu, people would still go and buy.
It's like I told you before. It's like if one Starbucks in Ohio, they find a finger inside or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like the people in Texas are still going to buy at Starbucks. It doesn't matter because there's brand loyalty.
Look at when that whole McDonald's thing came out, the nuggets and the pink goo. Bro, you still find Jordan getting that 50-piece nugget.
Absolutely. So, for instance, that's called brand loyalty.
Yeah.
So connections, connecting people, and my 1B or whatever would be, or 2B, right? I'm on 2B now. Would be that brand, the brand loyalty. So you have to have a connection with your consumer, a connection with a business partner, or relationship, or a business relationship, whatever. And you have to have some type of brand loyalty out of those people. So once again, we talk about Starbucks and always going to Starbucks. Why do you not go down to a local mom and pop shop? Because you're loyal to this brand. Yeah. So it's the same thing with me and my company. It's like, okay, I have a production company and a mixing company, right? Where we mix people's music, where we produce music, and producers come back to me because they're loyal to me. Artists, they come back to me because they're loyal to me, and because I'm loyal to them. I give them free stuff. I give them, I give them stuff that not other people are giving them. You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing, that I'm literally catering to my consumer as much as I possibly can, and I'm having that connection and that brand loyalty. So I would say branding and brand loyalty and connections, that all goes hand in hand. And then the third thing is just having the grind.
That's
it. You have to conjure up something inside of you that makes you have that Mamba mentality.
What's another definition for grind? Because I know everybody hears grind, and it's
consistency.
There you go.
Consistency.
Yeah.
So if I want a six-pack, I have to consistently eat well, and I have to consistently work out. You stop for a month, you stop for 2 months, you stop for 6 months, you're out of the game. Like that's the reality. Number 3 is going to be consistency. Like if you have a brand, and it's a great idea. I mean, it's freaking Tesla. It's the light bulb, right? It's whatever it is that you just created, you invented, and it's amazing. And you have an amazing logo, and you have amazing slogan, and an amazing website, and you have merchandise, whatever, right? You have that, and then you have some connections, right? You have people coming in and out. Well, if you're not consistent with your brand and you're not putting out new stuff, you're not doing. Doesn't matter. It's like if Nike has the brand, they have the logo, everything's great, nice and dandy, right? They have the consumer base. If they don't come out with new shoes, new apparel, and they have the same stuff over and over, they're going to lose people.
Yeah.
They're going to lose clients because they're like, no, this is the only shoe that we're going to come out with, and it's not going to come out in different colors. Take it or leave it. And it's been the same since 1999. People are like, well, why do I keep coming back to you? There's no consistency of like you evolving or you staying consistent. And for me, it's always creating music. Even if music isn't coming in, I'm still creating music, or I'm still doing stuff. I'm staying consistent with posting on Instagram, posting on TikTok, posting on whatever social media platform. You have to be consistent. Look at the podcast. Every week we put out a podcast because that's consistency.
Yeah.
Some podcasts we might have 500 views, 400 views. The other podcasts we might have 100 views. Some podcasts we might have 50 views. I don't care. We're gonna stay consistent until one of these days, you start seeing it. It's like my kid. My kid walks out of the room and like, oh my God, he's taller. You don't see that growth. You don't physically look at him and just say, oh, he's growing. Look, he's growing. That doesn't happen. One day you wake up and you see a little bit of growth. Yep. And one day I'm going to wake up and he's going to be 16 years old and he's probably going to have a beard and he's going to be bigger than I am, right? And one day that's just going to happen. Yep. Same thing. It's like you got to keep going until something happens. You don't stop.
Yep.
You can't stop. Because once again, if it's you and your mom, or you and your wife, or you and you're a single parent, whatever, you have to work like that kid or that spouse or your mom is not going to eat. They're not going to eat. Like, if you work like that, I guarantee something is going to happen.
Yeah.
But if you work like, this is my second job, this is kind of my side gig, like, you're not working like your family depends on it. Yeah. I worked like my family depended on it because I told Karla, if we don't make it out of this first year, I will quit. I will get something else. We barely made it. I mean, it's like, dude, you got a freaking, here in Texas, it's a C-. I mean, you literally got a 59.9 and the teacher was literally just gave you that 60. That was my first year. And then the second year, you're like, oh, I got a B. Okay, I got a C, C+, B-, Yeah. And so you got to keep going.
Progress,
and so those are the three keys. It's branding, connections, brand loyalty, and grinding, consistency. You have those three things, you'll make it in whatever. Yeah. Sports, doesn't matter. Whatever you're into.
Any area of life.
You got to have those things. Because even in sports, dude, I see this in combat sports. Why is Conor McGregor the most paid athlete? Well, because he branded himself, dude. You already know. This guy walks in and there he is, man. And he has his catchphrases. He has, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people are connected to him. And then, dude, he's, consistent. Now, the second that he stops and he retires and he just sits there and does nothing, never posts on social media, he's gone. Floyd Mayweather, guy.
But and I like that you brought him up too. But again, looking at the whole picture of things, Conor McGregor is also owner of his own.
Everything.
Dude,
he has whiskey.
I was say whiskey, but look, and that's just one of them.
And then his promotion company now.
That's what I'm saying. Look at the avenues that he's creating off of that branding of himself. And then Floyd Mayweather, we could talk about him.
Well, he has his Floyd Mayweather Productions or whatever it's called. And so promotion, sorry. And so he promotes his own fights. He doesn't have a promoter he does it himself, with Showtime. And he obviously owns a bunch of other clubs and he owns a lot of other things because that's the thing. I mean, a lot of rich people that I've talked to, man, like they don't just stay in one area. Once again, they're doing different stuff and they're making their money work for them. One thing that I would love to get into, and I'm obviously throwing this out into the metaverse, the universe, is that I want to get into, obviously making enough in this area, and then trying to invest my money into the housing market, and trying to have real estate and once again, your money working for you. Right now, cryptocurrency, I'm trying to learn a little bit more about NFTs and cryptocurrency because I really want to invest more into that and see how I can flip my money. And it has nothing to do with music. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm not at that point yet. I'm not I'm not making millions of dollars. And you don't need to get to that point. But once again, I have goals that I want to get to. And I tell Karla every year, how much do I want to make this year? I tell her. I'm like, this year, I want to make X amount of money. And almost every year we've gotten close to it or we've exceeded it.
Yeah.
So you have to put that out there, man. You have to have those types of goals. So yeah, man. That's
seems like a good place to wrap it up.
Seems like a really good place.
I was looking at George because he originally asked me the 3 go nuggets. I'm like,
So, yeah.
He's like,
well, thank you guys.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys, so that's all the time that we have for today. We wrapped up episode 23 in 2 parts. So thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure to get down in that comment section below. You already know it's out of control. And make sure to follow us on social media at Tim's Bros Podcast. You can also buy our merch at on our website, timbromusic.com. And you can follow me at TimBroMusic. And you can follow Dino at
_Dino Music.
And you can find George at
More Than Just George.
He needs to change that.
Yeah. At More Than Just George.
At More Than Just George. It needs to be _George Music. No,
_ George Podcast.
yeah, right. No, I'm just kidding. So make sure to follow everybody on our social media accounts, and once again, make sure you guys are always just staying on our Instagram account. That way, you guys can see some of the polls that we're running, and just give us more ideas and more insight on what we got next year. Also, we should have another big announcement about hopefully the live event sometime soon. We are trying to do it next year, January 2022, somewhere around there. So you guys stay tuned. All right, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Appreciate it. Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye.